Where are we?
Page 222. No, I'm sorry, that's me, Kates. Vayigash
250.
250. Okay, so we are at a very critical, very emotional juncture of the Torah's telling us, relating to us, Yosef and the brothers. Right? Yosef has been elevated to the viceroy of Egypt. And his interpretation of Paro's dreams of the 7 good years and the 7 famine years has come about. And we're 2 years into the famine, and the brothers come down, and Yosef does not, he recognizes them, they do not recognize him, and he does not reveal his identity to them. He starts putting them through these different hoops, right? He claims that they are spies, right? Certainly that is going to, they're being accused of something that they are not, right? Now, what did they, to a degree, accuse Yosef? Boker Tov, right? They accused Yosef of being a spy, right? Yosef was no. But earlier on in life, right? Yosef was the one who was bringing the bad tidings to their father, right? And then he imprisons. He says, Binyamin has to come. And we explained, well, there are a number of explanations of why. Well, let's just go through first.
I remember from last year.
I'm sorry?
I remember from last year. He put them through the same loops he went through.
Good, right? And then Binyamin comes, and he still doesn't reveal his identity to them. And instead, he gives them the food, he treats them very nicely, sends them back with food, plants his goblet in Binyamin's bag, sends out his men after them. Why have you repaid the good that I've given you with bad? Right? And they all come back, and according to the laws there, that Binyamin had stolen this goblet, he should be put to death, and they should all become his slaves. However, he's going to be lenient. And instead, just Binyamin will be taken as his slave. That is where we're at now. And now, we start on page 250. Vayigash Elav Yehuda. So now what happens? Yehuda now comes forward to advocate on behalf of Binyamin, advocate on behalf of the family, advocate on behalf of his father, and he gives a long, persuasive, emotional argument. Now, why is Yehuda the one who is jumping forward?
He actually promised Jacob to...
So Yehuda is the leader of the pack. That we know already. Yehuda is the leader of the group, right? He is the one who influenced the others, right? When they said, let's kill him, he's the one who said, hey, what will we gain? Ma betza, what will we gain by that? Throw him into a pit. And the brothers held him responsible afterwards when they saw the anguish of their father, and they said, we listened to you when you, right? We listened to you when you told us, let's not do A, do B. So had you told us, let's not kill him or throw him in a pit, let's send him home, we would have listened to you. So Yehuda is the leader of the pack, and of course, Malchut, royalty, ends up, leadership comes from Yehuda. But more recently, Yehuda is the one, when Yaakov was hesitating to send Binyamin, afraid that he would lose this other son. All he has left from his wife Rachel has died. Yosef is gone, presumed dead. And all he has left is Binyamin. He does not want to lose Binyamin. So what does Yehuda do? He steps forward and he says, Anochi arvenu miyadi tivakshenu. I will guarantee him. From my hand you can demand him. If I will not bring him back to you, v'chatati lecha kol hayamim. I will have sinned to you. Kol hayamim, our sages learn, for all eternity. Both olam hazeh and olam haba. Both this world and the heretofore and the world to come. So good to see you, Linda. How are you feeling?
Fine, thank you.
Good. Good. You got the message? My phone message?
You must have called my cell.
Yes.
I almost don't look at my cell. I'm sorry.
Okay. Natalie and I came to see you in the hospital on Sunday, but you had checked out about an hour or two before that,
Okay.
and we were thrilled.
I would have stayed.
And you didn't have to stay. Better to go home. But great to see you. Right, so he had said, I'll have sinned to you all of my days. So now Yehuda is the one who took this responsibility. He is coming forward to advocate on behalf of Binyamin because he is the one who is responsible. I've mentioned before, there's a beautiful, beautiful explanation from the Vilna Gaon over here. And it shows us, the trup that we have, the laning of the Torah, is we say that also was halacha l'Moshe Sinai. That was also passed down as part of the Torah, exactly what the trup is. And the trup are the melodies. And the different trup have different names for them. And the Vilna Gaon, for one, sees depth and meaning and explanation even in the trup, right?
What is it, trup?
The trup is the cantillation. Vayigash elav Yehuda vayomer v'Adoni. But it's specific notes, right? If you look in the Chumash, there are different signs, dots, apostrophes, arrows, right? These are musical notes. It tells us what is the trup. So the Vilna Gaon very famously, I say this every year, Pesach time, when it comes to our being in Egypt, so the pasuk says, "Vayimareru et chayehem ba'avoda kasha." Vayimareru et chayehem means, and they embittered their lives. The Egyptians embittered the lives of the Jewish people there in Egypt. And actually the question is asked that we were supposed to be in Egypt for 400 years, yet we were only there for 210 years. So the Gemara asks, or the sages ask, so how is it we were only there for 210 years? And the Gemara answers that they made it so oppressive for us, they took 400 years of oppression and they compressed that into 210 years. So the Vilna Gaon points out, Vayimareru et chayehem, and they embittered our lives. The name of that trup is, that's an apostrophe, another apostrophe across from it. The name of that trup is Kadma v'Azla. Kadma v'Azla. Kadma v'Azla is Aramaic. In Hebrew, Lakdim means, v'Azla means to go. So Kadma v'Azla means early we went. So the name of the trup is early we went. On which words? Vayimareru et chayehem, and they embittered our lives. So he says, why did we leave early? Why did we kadma? Good morning, how are you? Nice to see you. Why were we kadma va'azla? Why did we azil go kadam early? Because vayimareru et chayehem, because they embittered our lives. And he also points out that the gematria, the numerical value of kadma va'azla is 190. Which is how many years early we went. Here too, he says, Vayigash elav, same trup. right? You see Vayigash Elav, you see above the Gimel and above the Lamed, that's the trup. One apostrophe and a facing and then a facing apostrophe. That is Kadma Viazla, which means he got up and he went. Yehuda. The dot above the Dalet is called Rivi'i. What does Rivi'i mean? The fourth. So who got up and went to speak to Yosef? Rivi'i, the fourth one. Reuven, Shimon, Levi, Yehuda. So Yehuda, the fourth son, is the one that got up and spoke. Now you would have thought, Reuven, Shimon, Levi, the older brothers, are the ones who should take the responsibility. Why wasn't it Reuven or Shimon or Levi who went to speak? Let's continue. Vayomer bi Adoni, that like sideways S above the Resh and above the Yud, that's called a Zarka. The inverted L underneath the Bet is Munach, and the three, the little looks like a triangle above the Yud, that is Segol. So he says, Kadma v'azla revi'i, got up and went, the fourth one. The fourth one got up and went. Why the fourth one? Why not the older brothers? Why not the first brother, second brother, third brother? Oh, because Zarka, Zarak, he had thrown, Munach, Segol, he had thrown his menucha, his munach, his rest of segol, of bliss, of eternity, because Yehud is the one, as we mentioned before, who had pledged, I will bring back Binyamin, and if I don't bring him back, I will have sinned to you, kol hayamim, all of my days, both olam hazeh, and also the munach segol, also the menucha of segula, the blissful rest, also olam haba. So the Vilna Gaon says that contained in the trup, in the names of the trup, is added and added meaning. Yes, Dov?
Does he know probably that this is a setup and he knows something that's really amiss here?
Who?
Yehuda.
Well, let's hear what he has to say, and we'll see how he's going to go through how, this whole thing is just so bizarre, right? Yehuda was so, it's simple. I'll bring Binyamin, right? We had this last night in the Navi class, right? He had Balamot Liolam. I'm strong, I'm confident. He was so sure. I'll bring Binyamin, we'll get the food, I'll bring Binyamin back, and then all heck breaks loose over here, right? They're brought into the palace. I mean, it's been so bizarre from day one. They came to get some food, and here they're called into the viceroy, the second in command of Egypt. The whole thing has been so bizarre. Actually, it's fantastic. The Gemara in Sanhedrin lists a number of expressions that people have and shows where these common expressions are indicated in the Torah. So the Gemara says, it says, people make their own mess and then they blame God. Right? Right? Can you imagine that? Right? Why is God doing this to me? I forget the exact Aramaic expression the Gemara used, but basically the idea is we make a mess and then we say, God, why me? Right? So they say, where is that found in the Torah? Right? So they say when the brothers first came down to Egypt and Yosef is giving them all of these problems, right? So they say, what is Hashem doing this? Right? Right? They said in front of the exact Mazot asa elokim vayecherdu ish elachiv. They found the money in their bags, right. And they said, Mazot asa elokim lanu. What is God doing to us? Right? Not knowing that they, of course, are the ones who set this whole thing up with the Mechirat Yosef, with the sale of Yosef. So let's hear Yehuda's impassioned plea to Yosef. Someone want to take that for us?
ויגש אליו יהודה ויאמר, בי אדוני ידבר נא עבדך דבר באוזני אדוני ואל יחר אפך בעבדיך כי כמוך כפרעה. אדוני שאל את עבדיו לאמור, היש לכם אב או אח? ונאמר אל אדוני, יש לנו אב זקן וילד זקונים קטן ואחיו מת ויוותר הוא לבדו לאמו ואביו אהבו. ותאמר אל עבדיך, הורידו אליי ואשימה עיניי עליו.
Good. Let's take that in English. Linda, you want to take it? You have the strength?
I'll try. I'm not sure I have the voice. Then Judah approached him and said, If you please, my lord, may your servant speak a word in my lord's ears, and let not your anger flare up at your servant. For you are like Pharaoh. My Lord has asked his servant, saying, Have you a father or a brother?
And that's so strange right from the start. We came to buy some food, right? You know, you're checking out of wholesome choice, right? You're not going to start to have, to be cross-examined. You have a father, you have a brother, any sisters, right? You go there, you get your food, you check out, and Shalom al Yisroel. It's a funny thing that goes on in the world today. It's more recent. You go to the bank, you just want to deposit a check and go home. So, how's your day going? Any plans for the weekend?
Yeah. They were told to be.
I don't know.
It's irritating, honestly, because it takes your time.
I know. I always answer nicely, but it strikes me a little bit strange. It's like, I'm doing well, thanks.
Customer service.
Yeah, interesting. Right? So here they are checking out a wholesome choice. Have you a father or a brother? And we said to my Lord, we have an old father and a young child of his old age. His brother is dead, referring to Yosef. They didn't want to say his brother is missing because they're thinking he's going to tell us, well, bring him down also. His brother is dead. He alone is left from his mother, and his father loves him. Okay. Right, so this is one brother that's left, right, and his father loves him. Okay? Now, we mentioned before that, the classic approach is why Yosef is not writing home is the Ramban, who said that Yosef's dreams were prophecies and he needed to have them fulfilled. So he needed to first have all the brothers, which is the 11 sheaves, and then he could have the brothers and the father and the mother, which is the stars and the sun and the moon. And others explain that Yosef was guiding them through this realization to come to terms with what they had done and to cleanse themselves of that by acting in opposite manner with Binyamin. But another, yes, Marie.
So I imagine a lot of other people went down there to get food, not just the brothers.
Right.
How did they get to Joseph and not to the lowlier?
That is, from their perspective, what is so bizarre that they're speaking about over here. This whole thing makes no sense. From Yosef's perspective, he's been waiting. He's been waiting to see, there's a famine all around. People are coming from all around. I wonder if my brothers might come. I wonder if this isn't the prophecy that I had of all my brothers bowing down to me. Isn't that interesting? Now I'm second in command. People are coming and bowing down to me. My brothers need to come. So from the brothers' perspective, 100%, that's what makes this so bizarre. From Yosef's perspective, he sees all of the pieces falling into place of his earlier dreams, which he understood as prophecies, And now he is seeing that they are, according to Ramban, he's working to have them fulfilled. According to others, he's seeing them being fulfilled now. But that's all what adds to what is so bizarre. Then you said to your servants, bring him down to me and I'll set my eye on him. We said to my Lord, the youth cannot leave his father. Should he leave his father, he will die. But you said to your servants, if your youngest brother does not come down with you, you will not see my face again. And it was. Now remember, this is the first time Yosef is hearing from them how the father feels about Binyamin. And for the first time he's going to hear how his father feels about him. Because remember, a more recent approach by different Rabbanim in Israel, a very fascinating approach, is that we always assume in life also, but certainly in the Torah, that he knows what we know. Meaning, we know that the brothers presented the bloody cloak to Yaakov. And Yaakov said, Oy, chaya ra'a achalatu. He's been consumed by a wild animal. Toraf Yosef. Yosef's been torn apart. And we know that Yaakov was never comforted. And he said, I'll go down to the grave mourning. We know all of that. Yosef doesn't know a thing about that. Yosef knows that his father, the last words he heard from his father, an incident before his father sent him to Shechem was he had his dream and his father rebuked him. What are you talking about? Will I and your mother come and bow down to you? And Rashi says that his father inside was hoping it would happen. But Yosef didn't know that. The last thing he heard was his father rebuking him for causing dissent in the family. And then his father sends him off to Shechem, which was a bloody place. Shimon and Levi already had wiped out that city. That's where he sends him out there. And then the brothers take him and throw him into a pit. And then either they sell him or allow others to sell him. So Yosef is wondering, where is my father in on all of this? And he's probably thinking, well, let's see. If my father sends out a search party to try to get me back, then he was not complicit in this. And he's brought down to Egypt. And there's this deafening silence. No one's coming to find him. No one's coming to help him. And he's thinking, perhaps, my father didn't want me anymore. My father felt that I was causing a rift in the family. I was causing dissent in the family. And if you look back to page 230 for a moment, Yosef has children there in Egypt. Page 231, verse 50. Now that Joseph was born 2 sons when the year of famine had not yet set in, right? Whom Asnat, the daughter of Potiphar, Kohen of On, bore to him. Joseph called the name of the firstborn Menashe, for God has made me forget all my hardship and all my father's household. Wow. He made me forget my hardship and my father's household. Now, the commentators explain, some want to explain, God allowed me to forget that hardship and to recognize it's all coming from God. Fair enough. It's a possibility. But the simple meaning is, I'm leaving all of that pain behind and I'm moving forward. And his name, the second he called Ephraim, God made me fruitful in the land of my suffering. Right? I came here, I've been suffering, and now I become fruitful. So from the names of the children, it really sounds like Yosef is saying, my brother sold me. My father seems to have been complicit in this. I'm leaving all that behind. So all of a sudden the question of why didn't Yosef write home, right? So we ask, his father's grieving. How could he be there in Egypt and powerful? And his father's grieving. He doesn't know his father's grieving. For all he knows, His father has wiped his hands clean of this Yosef, this Joseph character who caused such strife in the family. And he's starting new. Why should he call home? Why should he go back? Why should he open up those wounds? Here's the first time he's hearing what his father thinks about him. Verse 24, and it was when we went up to your father, to your servant my father, we told him my Lord's words, your words, Joseph. And our father said, go back, buy us some food. We said, we cannot go down. Only if our youngest brother is with us when we go down. We cannot see the man's face if our youngest brother is not with us. Then your servant, my father, said to us. I can just imagine Yosef moving forward at this point. What did he say? You know that my wife bore me 2 sons. Oh my gosh, now Yosef's first hearing what his father's going to say about him. One has left me. And I presumed, alas, he has surely been torn to pieces. I have not seen him since. At that point, probably Yosef lost his breath. My father thinks I'm dead. My father doesn't know I'm alive. That's why my father didn't send out a search party. That's why there's been this deafening silence. So should he take this one too from my presence? And disaster befall him? You shall bring down my old age and evil to the grave. And now if I come to your servant my father, Judah says to Yosef, and the youth is not with us, his soul is bound up with his soul. When he sees the youth is missing, he will die. And your servants will have brought down the old age of your servant, our father, in sorrow to the grave. Wow. All of a sudden, he hears a whole different story than what he had been privy to. And then he goes further. Judah says, your servant took responsibility for the youth of my father, saying, if I do not bring him back to you, I will have sinned to my father all the time. I guaranteed his safe return. Wow. So Yosef is hearing, A, his father thought he was dead. B, he hears Yehuda going all out to save, to help his brother Binyamin, the other son of Rachel, Binyamin. Yehuda and the brothers hated him, the son of Rachel, and he's going all out. Now 33 is the clincher. Therefore, please let your servant remain instead of the youth as a servant to my Lord. I, Yehuda, I, Judah, I'll stay as your servant. Let Benjamin go. Let the youth go up with his brothers. For how can I go to my father if the youth is not with me, lest I see the evil that will befall my father? What's he saying? If we go without Binyamin, my father's going to die. But if they go without me, my father's not going to die. That jealousy, they've come to terms with that. He won't die. If I'm not there, he won't die. If Benjamin's not there, he's going to die. V'lo yachol Yosef litapek. Yosef cannot control himself, cannot restrain himself. L'chol hanitzavim alav, with all that were there. Vayikra, and he said, Hotziu kol ish me'alai, everyone out. There was no one there with him when he revealed himself to his brothers. He cried out. Mitzrayim heard, and Beit Paro and house of Paro heard. He said to his brothers, Ani Yosef, Ha'od Avi Chai. I am Yosef. Is my father still alive? And many, we've mentioned this before, many different approaches over here. What do you mean my father's still alive? Yudah's just talking about his father, right, now wanting his father to die. So simply, right, is it true what you're telling me? Right? Is my father still alive? Or, Ha'od Avi Chai. Is my father still alive? Is he still my father? I didn't know what he thought about me. I hadn't heard anything. The silence had been deafening. Now you're telling me that he's still my father, that he never gave up on me, that he never was consoled, that he thought I was dead. So he's still my father. Or this was an incredible punch to the solar plexus to the brothers. Is my father still alive? You're so worried about your father. Oy, the pain will cause our father. If we don't bring back Benjamin, what it'll do to our father. Don't you tell me that. I'm Yosef. Is my father still alive? All that concern about father, where was that concern when you threw me into a pit? When you sold me as a slave down to Egypt? And the brothers were speechless. Vayomer Yosef Elachav, he said to his brothers, Geshuna Ilai, come close. Vayigash, Vayomer, he said, Ani Yosef Achichem. I am Yosef, your brother. Asher machartem oti Mitzrayim. That you sold me to Mitzrayim, but don't be saddened and don't be angry. Ki machartem oti heina, ki lemichiash lachani Elokim lifnechem. God sent me to Mitzrayim. Lemichia, in order to sustain you. He sent me to Mitzrayim to help you, lifnechem, and therefore I was sent here ahead of you. So Yosef takes the incredible high road over here and says, as he learned from those extra 2 years in prison, when he interpreted the dream to Paro, he said that God is the one who interprets the dreams, and he understands that God's master plan had him coming down to Mitzrayim in order to support the family, and also in order to start that prophecy that had been given to his great-grandfather Avraham of us being in Egypt. And therefore he says, you played the role that you played in it. That's between you and God. But if I'm here, I was meant to be here. And why do I feel I was meant to be here? Why did God have me here? To take care of you. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. He reiterates that. God has sent me here. Right? How many times does he say it? In verse 5, Shlachani Elokim lifnechem. In order to sustain you, God has sent me. Now verse 6, another 2 years of famine. 2 years of famine have passed. Another 5 years are coming. Again, verse 7, Vishlachani Elokim lifnechem. God has sent me before you to give you a remnant here in your survival in this land. And verse 8, V'ata, and again now, Lo atem shalachtem oti heina. It is not you who sent me here, Ki ha'elokim, but rather it is God. V'simeni la'av l'paro u'ladon l'chol beito. And he's made me like a father to Paro, a master of his house, a Moshel, a ruler over all of Egypt. Quickly go up to our father, to my father, and bring him here. Bring him here. 3 times he gives us this lesson in hashkafa, in outlook, in viewing world events. There is the master plan. Everyone decides what role they play in that master plan. But don't shoot the messenger. It's not you who sent me here. God sent me here. Now, they were responsible for it. right? They sold him for esrim dinar, I think it is. Yeah, for 20 dinar. And we redeem our first 20 dinar. There are 4 dinar to every shekel. We redeem our firstborn sons for 5 shekel. We are redeeming back from that terrible sale that the brothers did. Now there are 10 brothers, 20 dinar. That's a half shekel for each. Every year, what does every Jew give in the time of the Beit HaMikdash of the temple? And we still do a zecher to this in remembrance of this for Purim time. We give a machatzit hashekel. What they did was horrific. They had their miscalculation. What they did was horrific. And when we read on Tisha B'Av and on Yom Kippur about the 10 sages who were killed, tortured, that is in place of those 10 tribes and what they did. However, Yosef understands that's between them and Hashem. It's you who sent me down here.
Rabbi?
Yes.
I have a question. On verse 7, Yosef says not only was he sent ahead to ensure their survival in the land, but to sustain them for a momentous deliverance. Is that a presage of the Exodus?
Yes, that's exactly what that is. That's exactly what that is. Right? To keep them going now and for the ultimate fulfillment of that prophecy to Avraham. All that is being set into motion. So let's jump up a little bit. And the brothers come to the father. And they say to him, or Yosef, let's just, what does Yosef tell them to tell their father? Page 254. Someone take in Hebrew pasuk tet. Maharu. Good. So what does he say there in English? Verse 9. Rachel, you want to take that for us?
Hurry, go up to my father and say to him, so said your son Joseph, God has made me master of all Egypt. Come down to me, do not delay.
Beautiful. Right? So he says to him, go to my father. Again, the emphasis is my father. Right? The connection is still there. So said your son Joseph. I'm acting as your son. God has appointed me as a master over all of Egypt. Now, why is that going to impress? Why is that going to impress his father? Right? His father, the righteous Jacob. Oh, so he's prime minister of England. Right? He is the master over all of Egypt. Why is that going to impress him?
Why not? He has achieved a certain position.
But, okay, but we wonder if that's what's impressive.
But the first that he is alive impressed me first.
Good. But why that he is the leader of Egypt?
So fulfillment of the second dream of the parents bowing down also.
Interesting. So you want to say interesting, right?
Yes.
So when his father will come down, that will be the fulfillment of the second dream. Because of his position, his father will need to bow down to him. Okay, Derek, that's a nice idea. It's a nice idea. Dove?
He's letting his father know. It's not my own thing. It's Hashem put me on.
Okay, good. So the emphasis is that I've been away from you for so long, but the way that I am viewing events is Samani Elokim. That's what will make his father happy. Not the position per se, but his view of that position that he has attained. God has placed me above. And there is a beautiful sefer by Rav Yaakov Naiman. And he wrote this soon after the 6-day war. And what he writes is just, is so beautiful. See, he says, Im kain kal v'chomer, if so, certainly, when Hashem has done for us in our times, nisim, miracles, kol kach gluyim, such revealed miracles, shemasa rabim biad ma'atim, that he has given over, he's paraphrasing from the Alanisim that we say on Hanukkah, the many into the hands of the few, ma'atim bekamut, uve'eichut, right, into the hands of few, in number and in machinery and quality of what we have. Milvad shahem rabim hayalem kol kach habei neshek, right? That they had planes, artillery, tanks that our eyes couldn't even imagine it. Nevertheless, it happened to us, Yeshuat Hashem keheref ayin, that God's deliverance is in the blink of an eye. Who could have imagined that we would win so quickly? Right? Even those generals who said we've got to attack, they never thought that it could be so swift. So we see how Hashem has helped us. Lo ayidei malach, v'lo ayidei shaliach. Sounds like, that's a quote from the Haggadah. Right? Not through a malach, not through an angel, not through an emissary. Even a malach could not have made this war end so quickly. Talking about the 6-day war. Only HaKadosh Baruch Hu b'chvodo v'atzmo went down to Mitzrayim, he said. Went down to Egypt and smote them. V'lo rak et ha'bechorim, and not just their firstborn. And if Bnei Yisroel ya'aminu b'zeh be'emunah shleima, if we will believe that with full faith, az gam hagoyim ya'aminu, then the nations will also realize, believe, ki Hashem nilcham ba'adeinu, that God has fought on our behalf. V'lo ya'izu od yoter lilachem itanu, right? And they will not attack us again. And we will yitpashu bal korcham itanu. We'll be able to make a peshara. We'll be able to come to terms and end the state of war. But if we're not going to believe that Hashem helped us and fought for us against Egypt, but we'll say, we'll say, it was our skill, our strength, our strategy that did it. So that also the Arabs will not believe that it was God. And they will try to get better arms and better preparation. So they'll be yoter chazakim meitanu, and they'll be stronger than us. V'yilchamu itanu u'v'zchut hamunah nig'alu mitzrayim lefanim. So he concludes, and in the merit of our faith, we were redeemed from Egypt before. Gam achshav nigam mitzrayim. Also today, we could be redeemed from Egypt with zchut ha'amunah habrura, the melech malchei hamalachim. Wow. Soon after the 6-day war that he wrote that. So Yosef's message to his father is not that I'm master over Egypt. That's not the main point. Samani Elokim. God has placed me as the master over all of Egypt. Let's go towards the end when Yaakov actually makes his way down. Page 262, 263. So they're coming down to Egypt now. What does Yosef want to do? He wants to make sure that they can retain their identity as a family, as what will become a nation there in Egypt. So let's go Perek Mem Zayin. Who read before? Miri Ora.
What line?
Perek Mem Zayin Pasuk Aleph. Vayavo Yosef.
Oh, okay. ויבוא יוסף ויגד לפרעה ויאמר, אבי ואחי וצונם ובקרם וכל אשר להם באו מארץ כנען והינם בארץ גושן. ומקצה אחיו לקח 5 אנשים והציגם לפני פרעה. ויאמר פרעה אל אחיו, מה מעשיכם? ויאמרו אל פרעה, רואה צאן עבדיך, גם אנחנו גם אבותינו. ויאמרו אל פרעה, לגור בארץ בנו, כי אין מרעה לצאן אשר לעבדיך, כי כבד הרעב בארץ כנען, ועתה ישבונה עבדיך בארץ גושן.
One more pasuk. Vayomer.
ויאמר פרעה אל יוסף לאמור, אביך ואחיך באו אליך.
Okay, let's take that in English now. Joseph came to Pharaoh. Tara, do you want to take it?
Then Joseph came and told Pharaoh, and he said, My father and my brothers, their flocks, their cattle, and everything they own, have arrived from the land of Canaan, and they are now in the region of Goshen. From the least of his brothers he took 5 men and presented them to Pharaoh.
So the 5 that were the least physically impressive, imposing, right? He doesn't want Pharaoh to say, oh wow, this is a great family, let's have them as officers, let's have them as generals in my army. Right? Pharaoh said to his brothers,
Pharaoh said to his brothers, What is your occupation?